Four teams have battled through the opening round of the college football playoff, and now the pressure and the intensity continue to mount as we go to the quarterfinals, moving away from home sites and onto neutral fields. What's the bigger factor, the battle-tested team or the better-rested team? Welcome, everyone, to Glendale, Arizona. This is the Vrbo Fiesta Bowl, part of the college football playoff. As we'll see a playoff team from last year, the Michigan Wolverines, taking on the number 4 seed in the playoff, the Texas Longhorns. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler with Kirk Herbstreit. It's quarterfinal time in the CFP, and let's get it going. Kickoff team out there. We're ready to rumble for this college football playoff game. Texas. They'll return it from inside the 5. Stop at the 22. That's pretty solid coverage there. So Michigan's offense comes on the field to open this game. Down to the final 8 now. Quarterfinal matchups at neutral locations, Kirk, and that means one team which won a conference championship is rested. The other team is coming off an emotional win just a week ago.
And, Chris, the prevailing thought would be, boy, the team that gets a chance to rest would be in a better position. But as we saw in 2024, the teams that got that rest, they lost their rhythm. And I think the teams that had a chance to play, they continue to stay in their routine, and it really benefited them. Let's see how it plays out today.
On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Caught near the sideline, but just a short gain. Then he'll run out of bounds and pick it up a few yards on the play. He'll look to throw it here on 2nd down. Caught by the receiver. The sophomore with a strong tackle there. Big moment on the opening drive. They face 3rd down. Looking to pick up the 1st down through the air. Oh, what a move. It's an out route, the catch made. That's enough for a 1st down. This offense set up in scoring position at the 40. From the shotgun, handoff inside. Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out. A gain makes it 2nd and medium. Takes the handoff. It's Pierce. Run it up the middle, but stuffed for no gain. Big moment on the opening drive. They face 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Grab down the middle. It's Silva. They stop him at the 22. This offense in great scoring position now. And the Wolverines will line up on 1st and 10. Looking for a receiver. Quick completion with the tight end. Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion. Now this is the 8th play on this drive. And now the handoff. Slams right into a wall. They've got him for a loss. Strong opening drive. This is play number 9, but it's 3rd down now. And it looks like the quarterback's going to run it. And it'll be smothered right at the line for no gain. Looks like the coach decides to go for 3 points here. Here comes the field goal team. Knocks that one right down the middle. So we have our first points on the board. That makes it 3-0. Following the field goal, the kickoff team is out there now. And it's fielded. Returner trying to make something happen. And the coverage team gets him down. Not much gained on that return. So Texas's offense comes out for their first possession today. Let's check out the impact players in this game, Kirk. Guys that are going to have to step up and deliver. The teammates look to them. Coaches are counting on them today.
Chris, I think these are the guys that show the most consistency, and I think that's why we're showcasing them. And they're going to have to be able to step up and not only make plays, I think provide the leadership. Coaches told us all week that these are the guys that really are unique within this program, and hopefully they play well today.
Quick catch over the middle. And they bring him down quickly, but that's a solid gain on the short throw. So let's see what they like here on 3rd and short from inside their own 20. Important to pick up this first down. Under pressure, just lets it go. Cannot connect. Incomplete, and now 4th down. The Longhorns will bring their punt team onto the field. And this will be the first punt for this offense tonight. And the returner decides to signal fair catch. Here's the first play of the drive now. They begin at the 39. Play action here on 1st down. Looking for his big tight end. He makes the grab. He makes the tackle, but this offense has crossed midfield. Set up with a 1st down at the 47. Off play action, he's looking to throw. Deep ball caught inside the 10. They bring him down at the 7. The offense set up now with a 1st and goal.
Now the quarterback found a matchup that he loved, gets a big gain with a nice throw, and now they're down in the red zone looking for some points.
The defense better regroup after that big gainer. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Design quarterback run. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Ball back at the 10-yard line now for 2nd and goal. Here's a handoff on a counter. Ball carrier tackled there. Game sets up a 3rd down and goal from the 6. They snap it. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. A screen to the wide receiver. They're able to get him down. So the decision is to not go for it, but settle for 3. Here comes the field goal team. He was on target with his first attempt. This one just a chip shot from 20 yards away. And that kick right down the middle. Can't hit it any better than that. So after coming away with 3 in that drive, the kickoff team is out. And he takes this from inside the 5. And he's tackled at the 21. That's where the drive will start. Offense out there to start a new drive from the 21. Quarterback pulls the ball. It's a keeper. They'll tackle him right at the 25-yard line. Again, makes it 2nd and medium. They're going to run it here. They'll bring him down right at the 30-yard line. So ball at the 30. This is a manageable 3rd down play for the offense. They'll try to move the chains here on the ground. They'll stop him at the 34. That will be a 1st down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. They'll run it from the gun. The junior able to bring him down quickly. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. Dropping back, it's Torres. He cannot escape. It's a sack.
I like how this defense is bringing pressure from all over the field, and that's the key in putting together a good defensive strategy. On this play, it came from the outside linebacker, and he gets to the quarterback.
So here comes 3rd and long. Giving up that sack has made this a real challenge for the offense. Looking to throw it on 3rd and very long. Catch hauled in here over the middle. The completion picks up about 8 yards, but sets up a 4th down play now. Longhorns will have to punt this one away. And he'll kick it away now for the 2nd time. Fair catch made at the 20. Offense out there to start a new drive from the 21. Offense moving receivers around now before the snap. Jet sweep call. Pickup is 5 yards, so it's 2nd down and 5. So, Kirk, Michigan has the lead here at the end of the quarter. We've reached the end of one in this quest to move one step closer to a national championship. Let's check out the stats so far. Through one period, these teams are finding out that playoff games just feel different. Who can handle the nerves better as we head to the second? And they'll keep it on the ground. Running back has the handoff. And he's brought down, but he does have enough for the first down. The offense with 3 tight ends now in first down, trying to create a mismatch. And there's the handoff. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Here's the second down play. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. Caught! He's wide open. Look out! They bring him down, but a big chunk of yardage on the play. Gives it to the back. Spins away from defenders. And he breaks the tackle on the way to a solid gain there. Second down play coming up for this offense. Play fake, looking to throw. And he's going to take a shot down the left side. He tried to go very deep there. Good effort. But now it's third down. 6th play of the drive coming up. Running back with the football. Quick spin on the run. The Wolverines pick up enough for a first down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. And at first down, they go right back to him.
It's exactly what you want to see as a play caller. You get positive yards to be able to kind of keep you on schedule as a play caller. That's all you can ask for. Good job up front and a nice run.
They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play. The Wolverines begin a new series here, 1st and 10. Off the play fake, looking to throw. The pass rush closing in. Makes the catch. Can he get in? And he's run out after a big gain. The offense will be set up with a first down and goal. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Pass not complete.
Just a misfire here by the quarterback. These are tight windows, man. They open and close so quickly. You got to almost anticipate where you're going to put the ball.
The back's got it. They try the middle, but gain nothing on that play. So 2 chances to score a touchdown in the red zone already. They came up short. Now it's 3rd and goal. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. They pressure him and get him. A loss back to the 7-yard line.
Chris, 3rd down here, they throw the football, which I have no problem with down inside his 10-yard line. But the big thing is the quarterback has got to do a better job working through his progressions to give himself a chance. The last thing he wants to do is take a sack, and now they're facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, the decision is to trot out the field goal team. It'll be a 24-yard attempt, should be automatic. The kick is good. He knocked it right down the middle. They come away with 3 points on the drive, and now the kickoff team will boot it away. He'll bring it out from his end zone. He'll be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the first play of the drive now coming up from the 17-yard line. They'll go with the ground game here. Running back takes the handoff. And the sophomore able to bring him down quickly. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. And he keeps it. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 2. They come to the line, a long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. Looking to throw. It's Torres. Fires it to the wideout. And that is incomplete, but there's a flag down. Did the receiver push off? So the offense obviously will decline the penalty and take the result of the play. The Longhorns will line up to punt it away. See if he can make something happen with the return. Good effort by the return man. They get him down, but that's a solid gain on the return. On first down, it's play action. Caught over the middle. It's Cruz. They make the stop at the 26, but it's a first down. This offense in good scoring position now. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Grab down the middle. It's Silva. Tackle is made. It's a short gain, well short of the marker. Second down, we're going to throw it. From the pocket, delivers over the middle. And they wrap him up after the completion, just short of the first down marker. Headed for the end zone. He had all day back there before throwing the strike. Touchdown, Michigan. So it's still early, but this offense beginning to build momentum and build the lead now, Kurt.
As we've seen over the years, Chris, good teams know how to use the first quarter to establish the lead, the second quarter to increase the lead, and the final half just to hold on to it. They're following that blueprint perfectly, widening the distance between them and their opponent before we even get to the locker rooms.
Point after makes the lead 16. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. Returner choosing to field this one. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. Here's the first play of the drive now to begin at the 19. Ball handed off. Picks up a short gain, but is swarmed by the defense, flying to the football. Backs line up on either side of the quarterback. Throwing off play action. Bringing pressure. And he'll just throw it away to avoid the sack. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Looking downfield, it's Torres. Throws to the tight end. Caught over the middle. It's Gant. Stopped at the 43, but that's enough to make a first down. The Longhorns will crank up the tempo.
Chris, there's a lot of pressure on this offense here early in this game. They're down early, third down and long. Nice job of protecting. The last thing they want to do is have to punt this ball away. So instead, quarterback has time. Nice throw, and it's a first down.
Offense beginning to click on this drive as they try to reach the end zone for the first time today. And they tackle him, but a nice pickup on that running play. Important second down play coming up. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. Oh, the pass rush gets home.
Well, that's their second sack already in this game right now. And this offensive coordinator, he's going to have to come up with some changes in pass pro. Keep a tight end in, roll the quarterback out, anything they can do to help him out. Otherwise, this poor guy's going to spend his entire playoff experience on his back.
So here comes third and long, trying to overcome that sack. This is going to be really difficult. And he'll drop back here on third down. Quick throw to his receiver. What a catch! Okay, we reached the 2-minute timeout. The offense some work to do here, trying to cut into this lead before halftime. Longhorns getting set on 1st and 10. Looking for a man. Receiver makes the catch. Tackle is made, just a short gain after the completion. Pass complete. It's second down now. He's looking to throw. It's a quick grab. Tackle made after a nice pickup on the play. Longhorns are in the red zone. Off the play fake, looking to throw on first down. Contact as he let the ball go. Pass incomplete under heavy pressure, just got it away. Offense lines up for a second down play off the incompletion. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. That's a nice wrap up there by the junior. And a timeout is called to talk strategy. Close game here as we approach halftime. So the offense getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. Third and long. Back to pass. It's Torres. Going for his running back. He's got it near the end zone. Touchdown, Longhorns, as they get on the board here in this playoff game.
Now that's what I'm talking about. This hasn't been a great first half, but putting up that touchdown like this, now they're going to be feeling good heading into that locker room and get themselves to believe that they can come back and win this game.
Now here comes the point after attempt. PAT up and good. They get a little bit closer. So the offense getting some momentum before halftime with the touchdown. Now they kick off in hopes the defense can get a quick stop. Looks like he'll try to make a play with the return. Solid job by the coverage team. They bring him down at the 16. So here we go. The first play of the drive. Less than a minute to play before halftime. Oh, the ball comes loose.
Well, just like running backs, quarterbacks, when they decide to pull the ball down and run, they've got to protect them. He left it out away from his body exposed, and it got knocked away. He's very fortunate he had a teammate who was able to get on top of it.
They make the tackle as time expires. That'll do it for the first half. And that will do it for the first half here. Kevin Connors now has our halftime update.
Chris, the magnitude of these CFP matchups is always on another level. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. Either way, it's time to find out. Back to the best in the biz for the start of this third quarter.
Fields it just outside the goal line. And the returner is brought down. And the drive will begin backed up at their own 10-yard line. To throw, it's Torres. Grab down the middle, it's Gant. He's tackled short of the 30, but that's good enough for a first down. The Longhorns come up to the line in a hurry-up.
Well, these big pass plays can jumpstart this offense a bit, and here they go with the tempo, looking to get this defense confused and out of position.
They test the middle of the defense, but get nothing.
Chris, I'll be really honest with you. I don't know why they continue to try to run the football. I'm all about balance. I'm all about trying to make sure a defense has to defend the run and the throw. But at this point in the game, they haven't been able to run the ball. They're going to have to go through the air if they're going to come back and take the lead in this game at some point.
Heads out of bounds after a solid gain.
But what a play here by this receiver for a big gain for Texas. And Chris, I think back all the years of Texas football, going way back. They've had some good receivers. Roy Williams comes to mind, Devin Duvernay more recently in the slot. But, man, they really need to start a new legacy. And maybe plays like this can get them going in a new direction.
Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. Looking for the wideout. That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact. No flag. Brings up third down. Urgency now for the offense. They hate to come up empty on this drive, down multiple scores. Now in third and very long, looking to throw. Oh, what a grab! Completion nets about 9 yards. Not enough for the first, and it's fourth down. Quarterback drops back. He's got it. Enough for a first down. Tackle, but only after picking up a fresh set of downs. Longhorn starting a new series here on 1st and 10. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. Juked one tackler and picks up first down yardage. A new set of downs after that completion. Off the play fake on first down. Swarmed by the pass rush, a sack.
Well, that takes the wind right out of your sails. This offense is trying to find a way to get back into this game, and another pressure and a sack against their quarterback.
And sack sets up second down. Looking to pass. It's Torres. The receiver makes the catch. Tackled pretty quickly, but that is a decent gain on the throw. This will be the 10th play of the drive, but it's 3rd and long. Play action fake, looking to throw. Oh, they trap him for a sack.
Chris, I'm really surprised they went with play action here on 3rd and such a long distance to gain. The defense obviously knows you're going to throw the football, so all you're doing is telling your quarterback, take your eyes off of the coverage and the line of scrimmage, and the result is a sack.
So here on 4th down, out comes the field goal team. And he's got it from 48 yards out, showing off the big leg. So after the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away. He's going to return it from near the goal line. And they stop him at the 23. That's solid coverage. And they'll start the drive here from the 23-yard line. Out of the shotgun, he hands it off. And the defense smothers him for no gain. Quickly behind the sticks here after the loss. 2nd down and 11. Quarterback wants to throw it on 2nd down. Pulls it in. It's Silva. Defense finally able to get him down after the juke, but he picks up a decent gain. That completion sets up an important 3rd down play. It's a keeper trying to get to the marker. He is stuffed at the line. It's going to bring up 4th down. And the Wolverines will have to kick this away. This will be the first punt tonight for this offense. No fair catch. Looking to make a return here. Coverage team brings down the returner. Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. Last possession produced a field goal. Let's see what they can come up with this time. Keep it on the ground. There's the handoff. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Offense behind the 6 now on 2nd and 11 after the 1-yard loss. To throw, it's Torres. Quick throw to the left side. Oh, he makes the catch. That picks up a 1st down. They'll spot it at the 39. They'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he goes nowhere. Stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. What's the play call here on 2nd down for this offense? From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. Looks to the left, and it's complete. He stopped just short of that 1st down marker, inches away from it. Hubie keeps it himself. And he's tackled, but only after picking up a 1st down. Longhorns offense is on the move now. Grab behind the line, it's Leonard. Brought down for a loss after the completion. Not what they were looking for. And a player is down injured after that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check him out. Getting set. Here's 2nd down. And he drops back in the gun. Fires it to the wideout. Oh, and he dropped it. You do not see that very often from this guy. He's going to bring up 3rd down. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a 1st down. Drops back, looking to throw for it on 3rd down. Oh, down he goes. It's a sack.
Man, it has been a rough night for this poor offensive line, and it's only getting worse. That's 5 sacks they've now given up so far in this game alone.
The Longhorns will bring their punt team on the field now. And the fair catch signaled for and taken. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. Keeping it on the ground here. He shreds the tackle.
Nice solid run here by this back. Did a nice job of just kind of finding that lane, pick up some positive yards there on 1st and 10.
They'll try and run it. Here's the running back. Sokka with a strong tackle there. Crucial 3rd down play coming up after that run. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Lets it go quickly. Makes the catch downfield. They bring him down, but an explosive play by this offense. Big game.
Well, this is why this guy's one of the top wide receivers in college football. It's third down. The defense knows you're probably going to go to him, and they still can't stop him from coming down with a big play.
Off the RPO, caught to the right. Looks like a man is down on the field after the last play, so we'll take a timeout. Offense getting set. Second down play here. QB keeper all the way. He's brought down, but the game moves the ball to the 39. The Wolverines will have 1st and 10 here. They'll hand it off. It's good for a 3-yard gain, so 2nd and 7. Handoff in a single back formation. And he picks up the first down before they get him to the ground. Offense lines up. This is the 7th play now in this drive. And then first down, right back to the running game.
I tell you, to be able to pick up a nice gain like that, those offensive linemen have to sustain their blocks. Gave them a chance and a really nice gain.
So, Kirk, Michigan has the lead here at the end of the quarter. And as we reach the end of 3, time is running out in this crucial contest for both these programs to stay alive in the quest for a national championship. Let's check out the game summary before we move on. As we head to the 4th, we could be in store for a classic finish. A spot in the next round of the college football playoff is at stake. He'll hand it off. They keep feeding the running back, but he's had nowhere to go tonight. They've been dominated at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and short here in this playoff. It's the 9th play of the drive coming up. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Punt over the middle. It's Silva. He made the stop, but it'll be first down from the 13. Play action here on first down. And it's incomplete. The defender arrived the same time as the football, and now it's 2nd down. This defense just cannot get off the field. The long march moves on. Play action fake, looking to throw. Catch made, looking for the goal line. Tackled down at the 3 after the catch. Defense up against it now. An important 3rd down conversion coming here in the red zone. And this one goes nowhere. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So on 4th down, it's an all-important field goal attempt. Hold your breath here. And that one's straight down the middle.
Chris, they get the 3 points, but looking back at it, 4th and inches. Pretty conservative call there. I really thought they would have gone for it.
Following the field goal, the kickoff team is out there now. And here's the return from inside the 5. The returner is brought down. Gets it started on the next drive. Here's the first play of the drive now. They're backed up at their own 14. Scanning the field. It's Torres. Makes a quick catch. That's a quick tackle, but they pick up solid yardage on that short throw. That completion makes it 2nd and medium. Quarterback keeps the football. Tackle behind the line. It's a loss of 2. They're backed up here trying to make something happen on 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Finds his man. It's Gant. And he'll pick up the first down, stopped at the 27. A new set of downs after that completion. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Grab down the middle. It's Gant. They bring him down, but he makes the 40-yard line. That's a solid gain. Longhorns look to keep this drive moving. It's a keeper. Solid run, tackled at the 45-yard line. 2nd down play coming up. Off the play fake, looking to throw the football. Looks to the left, pass caught. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down. Trying to find room. It's Lee. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Offense getting set up. Here's second down. And he'll set up to throw. Pressure is coming. He cannot escape. It's a sack.
If I'm on this offensive line, man, I do not want to see the game film. This has been a tough game for the big boys. It appears almost like they've just been moonwalking the entire game, and they've been pushed all around. That's 6 sacks surrendered already in this game.
So here comes 3rd and long. Giving up that sack has made this a real challenge for the offense. Looking to throw it on 3rd and very long. They got him again. He's like a statue back there.
This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle the pressure of this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of, Chris, get this, 7 sacks in this game so far.
Down late, they'll keep the offense on the field trying to chip away at this lead. Needs a completion here on 4th down. And it's incomplete to end the drive. A turnover on downs here in the late stages of this game. Here's the handoff. They've got him, but he picks up 8 yards. Sets up a nice 2nd and 2. Offense will keep it on the ground here. And he'll get the first down yards before they finally bring him down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. Quarterback changing the play now at the line. Toss it to the back, running left. And the sophomore able to bring him down quickly. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. They'll try the left side with a toss. Breaks free. Tackle made at the 21. This offense in great scoring position now. The Wolverines with 1st and 10 here. Using the ground game here. Tailback has the handoff. Going to try to run inside, but nowhere to go. Offense behind the 6 now on 2nd and 11 after the 1-yard loss. Looking to pass this time. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't get it. Brings up 3rd down. They come to the line. A long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. Drops back, needing a 3rd down completion here. Caught over the middle. It's Silva. The defense stops him short of the marker, so it's 4th down coming up. And now the defense will call a timeout here. There's something they didn't like about that look, and they'll make an adjustment before this important play. And it's good right down the middle. And that will extend their lead even further. So after coming away with 3 in that drive, the kickoff team is out. Return starts from inside the 5. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. Quick throw by the quarterback off the RPO. And the defense swarms, not much of a gain on that completion. The Longhorns will come to the line to crank up the tempo. Back to pass. It's Torres. And they hit him just as he releases the ball. It's incomplete. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this 3rd down. Grabbed by the receiver. Stopped right there at the line. No gain. The offense stays on the field, down multiple possessions. Easy choice. 4th down. He's throwing for it. Lets it fly to the wideout. It's complete. What a grab near the sideline. And a big gain before he goes out of bounds. The offense keeps churning, gets a fresh set of downs. On 1st down, it's play action. And the receivers got it. They make the stop, but not before he moves the football across midfield. 1st down at the 48.
Chris, here we are in the 4th quarter. These guys are trailing. Hadn't been a great day, but with this quarterback, he's as gifted as anybody in the country. You never count these guys out.
They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain. Back to throw again. Grab near the sticks. It's Leonard. They stop him, but it's a first down. Here comes the up-tempo offense.
Well, we've seen them do this in the past. A good throw, get the first, and here comes the tempo.
First down, looking to throw the ball. With the catch, it's Leonard. Tackled quickly after the catch, he'll be short of the marker. Offense sets up for play number 8 on this drive. Looking to pass here on second down. Short connection to the tight end here. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Now they've got to hustle to the line and get set. Here comes a first down pass attempt. Locates the tight end. It's complete. They bring him down at the 13. This offense really threatening now to score. It'll be first down. Looking to throw it from the red zone. Grab behind the line. It's Lee. Coming to the line on second down. This is important. They want to avoid a third and long. Motion by the back. Defense better adjust. He's running out of time here. Heavy pressure. He lets it go. And he'll just throw that one away to avoid what would have been a sack. 12th play of this marathon march, but it's third down and long. Looking to pass. It's Torres. He's got it right near the end zone. They finally stop him, but that gain is good for a first and goal. And a quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve as much clock as possible. Snags a quick throw, and he's down at the 3-yard line. They'll crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. Second down. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun. Launching one to the end zone. Touchdown, Texas. What a grab in the end zone in a clutch moment.
What a score by this offense, and the greatest thing, Chris, is they still left themselves a little bit of time, and now you're thinking onside kick if they can recover it. You never know.
And they get set now to try the PAT. PAT is good. They still trail, though. Formation would indicate they're going to try the onside kick here. When they safely make the recovery, the onside kick doesn't work. And the quarterback just takes a knee. Well, Cook, we thought it might be this kind of a game. Very small margin for error in this game. Who was going to make the crucial play at the end? And they did it to get the W.
Yeah, Chris, when games get tight like we saw here, it really comes down to who's the better coached team, who's going to execute better, and just as importantly, not letting the moment get to your head. That's a nice win for this head.